Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Hello, everybody. Darrell Owens, Legacy Maker Sports Network. Alongside with me today, Lamonte Thomas and Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. We're here live at ACC Media Day in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Marriott Hotel, and it's been a marvelous day. We got a chance to see a whole bunch of legendary coaches today, and a lot of players that are hungry to get things going. Jay, what are your thoughts from today's Media Day?
Just wide open in the ACC. We went back. We looked at Virginia's schedule from last year. There was a lot of close games. 2-3 points, and with them starting 6 new players, it's completely wide open. Talked to Coach Williams. He said last year was their best 3-point shooting team ever. There's just a lot of unknowns right now, man.
Now, Lamont, a lot of people have been talking about Louisville. Give us the insight on Louisville and why people think Louisville could make a nice run this year.
Yeah, this year Louisville has a more dynamic team. They bring in a grad transfer at guard. Of course, Mr. Wara led the team in both points and rebounds last year, and he's only gotten better over the offseason, Darrell. So this year, everybody's looking at Louisville and really the fact that they have a leg up on the chemistry and that they're going to be able to have dynamic scoring along to go with a stifling defense.
Like I said, we saw a whole bunch of great talent today. We saw Diakite, who made the big-time play against Purdue. He says he's ready to play right now for Virginia. He is ready for this thing to happen right now. It's going to be competitive this year. I feel like the conference itself is straight across the board going to be a extremely competitive conference. Jay, if there was a team that you had to say, watch out for this year, who would that team be?
I really liked what I saw from Boston College. They seem like a group that can really play together. As overall, they don't need that one person. It's a whole team. But I'm really, I want to see what Cole Anthony brings to UNC.
Lamont, what about you?
Both, of course, UNC and Duke always had that top recruiting class. I'm going to say it's cliche, but watch out for Duke only because of their big men. They get more big men in this year's class, and they also have a dynamic scoring. I guess I would say it's not a trio, but they have 4, I think.
Right.
4 big freshmen in the top recruiting class. So watch out for what they're able to do as they replace Cam Reddish and of course Zion and of course RJ Barrett.
I'm gonna say watch out for Florida State. For the last couple of years, Florida State has been a team who's getting closer and closer. Coach Hamilton said while we were watching them today that he said they want to get Florida State to the next level. They haven't been to that Final Four. They've made pushes, and he feels like they've been able to recruit the players that they want to recruit and that they're getting closer and closer. So Florida State will be my team to watch out for. They're always long, they're always lengthy, and they're always athletic.
Played a couple tight games last year.
Exactly. And so you have to watch out for them. They beat Virginia last year.
Yeah,
so that they know what they're doing here. So it's going to be a great one. But now, y'all, we're going to take you to all of our highlights, all of our video from coaches and players throughout the day. I'm Darrell Owens.
Jeremiah Quimby.
Lamont Thomas.
This is Legacy Maker Sports Network. Until next time.
Coach, just what you can say to expand a little bit more on the return of Trey Jones, just what he does for the team, and then the leadership from your senior group that you have.
Well, Trey is a key guy for us because he's going to have the ball most of the time. Last year, he got the ball, especially to Zion and RJ. Now he has to distribute it to a number of guys, and then his ball pressure gets things going. But as important as he is, the 2 guys on the podium with me are extremely important. Our 3 captains, these 2 guys with the experience they have, and they both become better players. I think those three guys have to be solid for us, and I think will be. I thought we really had 5 teams last year that by the end of the year could have been national championship teams. And this year, I think it's wide open. It'll be and to go to 20 games, and I think the league will be more balanced. And as a result, there'll be some great basketball throughout. There aren't the veteran teams that we had last year. So I think staying healthy and how our young guys develop will be 2 keys for us.
I think, as a group, we have a collective goal to win a national championship every year, and that's what we're focused on. So in our preparation for the season and throughout, that's our focus.
We're a good defensive team, but we've hung our hat on the defensive end. And I think our 3 straight years we've had an first-team all-defensive guy, and 2 of the 3, or if not all 3 years, we've led the ACC in shot block. We've had, when Ben Lammers both years, and now James Banks. So part of it's our philosophy defensively and what we do, and what we recruit to, and how we play. But that's a big part of who we are, and our identity is what we do on the defensive end.
Our team is really getting old, like Coach was saying. We have a lot of depth. We have a lot of guys that are experienced and are ready to go. And our main objective this year is just winning games. We leave all the other new stuff to the media and to the administration. And our main objective is just to win games. So that's our main thing.
Honestly, I'm excited about this year's team. I mean, if you look at it on paper, a lot of our production is returning from last year. And just being in the gym with these guys have been working hard all summer, all spring, all fall. And everybody's really improved on their games offensively and defensively. Everybody's getting stronger. Everybody's getting faster. And I think that comes along with getting older. And I think we'll be able to surprise a lot of people this year. Our transfers are really exciting. We have VMI. We got Bubba, who's dangerous anywhere from 3-quarter court. We got Jordan Usher. He puts his head on the rim. He's really a, violent attacker. So, I mean, I think we'll surprise a lot of people this year. People don't expect much from GT, but I think we'll win a lot of games. And speaking on the sanctions and things of that nature, we'll just let the administration handle that. I mean, our job as a player, my job's not to coach. My job's not to worry about the postseason. My job's to go out there every day and produce at a high level so that we can win games. And my philosophy is winning cures all. Forward.
I think every year is different. I think you build an excitement for each year, and without question, this group that we've assembled this year is just so much fun to be around because they're just so connected. There's so much energy in our gym, and so to watch the culture of our program grow and grow, even though we've lost some really key guys along the way, whether it be to NBA or to injury, just the culmination of watching that is special, and that's what building a program is all about.
Derek, just what you can say made BC the right fit for you when you were in the transfer portal trying to figure out where the best place was to go, and then Nick just navigating through adversity, what you can say about going through those injuries and what that taught you.
I think, just from the first time I talked to Coach first and, just the staff, I felt extremely comfortable. And that was a huge thing for me is just, being able to be comfortable. It's a great education, great school, great style of play. So those things all went into it, but I think just the relationship I built with Coach from, our first conversation was better than I feel like, any other, coaches that, I was talking to at the time. So I feel like from day one, I kind of in the back of my head knew that I would be at BC.
I mean, I missed a few games because of the injuries, but I came back like normally. I didn't have any like breakdowns after it, so it was okay for me.
Just like after the 2018 season, it was an amazing year and obviously a hard ending from a basketball standpoint, but we grew from it. We didn't hide from it. We addressed it, but we didn't obsess about it. And I think the same holds true with this last year. We're very thankful for it. We'll grow from it. We celebrated it and have enjoyed it, but we won't obsess about it. nor will we just sweep it under the rug and say that was then. It's just, I think, you don't overdo either of them, and you learn from them, and you're thankful for what both extremes teach you, and to get to go through it with these guys. I'm just glad that they have this memory, as our staff does, of winning a championship from last year, but I think because of how we lost the year before, it made us value it even more. Games. Now we're at 20. You play in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. You play in these tournaments. So every game is a test, and there's such parity in college basketball. And then to start, because I said we have a lot of new guys, there's newness to this team. The experienced players will have to really rely on that because that's a different kind of game in terms of that zone, that venue, and so being ready for it. And, again, whatever the outcome, you just grow from it and learn from it, but you get as ready as you can because you're starting in conference play and you want to the best of your abilities, get off to a good start.
20 games for the conference. I think it's big. It's great for the fans, great for the players. We love the competition in the conference. Syracuse is a great team, great coach. Has had a lot of great success. And open up at the Carrier Dome. It's one of my favorite places to play. It's massive. Last year we played there. We got really hot. So hopefully we can keep that streak, and it'll be a great matchup November 6th.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great matchup for us. It's going to test us in many ways, and we'll find out if what we're doing at practice is helping much.
Coach, just what you can say about the first couple seasons at NC State, building up the brand, creating that environment that you wanted, just where things are at from when you stepped in, what you can say about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm excited where we are entering year 3. If you told me that, we would go into year 3 winning 45 games and beating 6 top 25 teams, I would tell you that we're right on pace. Obviously, we were all a little disappointed about the outcome of not making the NCAA tournament last year. But that being said, we put that behind us and we're really focused on moving on. But I like our team. I like our pieces. For the first time since I've been at NC State, we've got the most returners that we've ever had, which is 7.
We definitely bring back some experience from last year's team. Like Coach mentioned, not being able to, a little disappointing not being able to go to the tournament and having to play NIT, but definitely experience some hungry guys on the roster and, guys ready to play this year.
And just picking off what CJ said, just having the experience of coming back, with the pieces that we got coming in, I thought it was just, a great decision for me to come back.
For the students from the podium, what's the key to consistency? How do you build consistency?
I believe that you build consistency by going hard every day in practice. So when you get to those games in late February and March, you can rely on what you did in practice at the beginning of the season, in the off season, and it all pays off.
I know, Jeff, that you wanted to establish a defensive identity right out of the gate, and a lot of success with a very young team, one of the top teams in the league at forcing turnovers, almost 15 a game. I think only 2 other teams had more. Where do you go in year 2? What are your expectations on the defensive side of the ball this year?
Well, I think we have an opportunity to be better defensively than we were last year. I think first and foremost, we'll have experience. These 2 guys beside me, along with our other sophomore, Ardis Toney, they got a lot of experience last year. They played a lot of minutes. I think we've added depth, especially in our backcourt. We have more quality depth that we can play. And then I think our inside guys have gotten better. Terrell Brown has improved. He's gotten stronger. Mentally, I think he's in a better place where he has confidence in himself. And then, we added a grad transfer, and we have a freshman that we think have chances to give us quality depth there. And so I think we have an opportunity to be an even better defensive team, which my hope is that it helps us become a better team in general.
How did what you learn prepare you for your sophomore season? What are your expectations for this year?
I feel like the biggest thing was mentally, just trying to keep the right mindset the whole time, not getting too high, not getting too low. And then Coach Capel, a lot, he just brought us in and talked to us about what he went through at Duke, and we kind of had similar circumstances, and just trying to learn.
The main thing I learned from our is you got to be composed,
and you got to stay locked in, and you got to maintain your body. It was one of the main things I'm going to carry into this year.
Coach, just what you could say about your first impressions coming into Virginia Tech, just what your overall thoughts were of the guys that were coming back, and just, what you can say about the sense of the Hokies moving forward.
Excited about it. I'm thankful that I have these two. I think of character and the kind of young people I want to build this thing with. That's a pretty good start, just in terms of how much they've helped me, their leadership, their appreciation for Virginia Tech. Two pretty good pieces to begin your time in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech, and thankful for their contributions. It's been proven that it can be done. 3 straight NCAA tournaments, Sweet 16. I think the first 3 consecutive years that they've been to the NCAA tournament, I think. We will build it the right way. We'll build it to last, and we'll build it with the right pieces. And again, these two guys are certainly a positive step for me.
I believe he's a very great coach on and off the floor. He keeps us in line. He keeps us motivated to want to work on the floor. So.
Question for Syracuse. Let's go front row to the right.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, just what you could say about Elijah. Obviously, this will be his second season on the floor, but third season with the team. Just what he's done leadership-wise and how he's grown in the program to lead it for you now.
Well, I think the thing with Elijah last year, he really was about our fourth option offensively as our second leading scorer, which tells a lot about what his ability is to score. I think he's improved over the summer. I think he's worked really hard. The trip helped him and helped our whole team. His role is different this year. He'll have the ball more. And he's taken a real active role in leadership with our younger guys. I think we're a little bit deceptive in that we have 3 juniors with Elijah and Marek and Barama who have played a lot. And I think their leadership is going to be very important for this team. I think we have a lot of good young guys who are probably a little bit underrated, a little bit under the radar, and I think they're more ready to help this year than I think most people would think.
As a team, how it built your bonds and made you stronger going into this season?
It was really fun. Number one, first and foremost, it was a lot of fun. My first time out the country, overseas. So, it really brought us together because, one, we all we got out there. We only went with each other, so we all really we got. And, it really brought us together. We went out and did things as a team, sightseeing-wise, going to get food and stuff like that. And then we played, obviously, together. So it really brought us together. It was a lot of fun.
I couldn't play, but I think the trip really helped us, like the team. We have 5 new guys. I try to help the new guys, talk to them on the bench, but team-wise, I think it helped us a lot.
It appears that we've developed some consistency over the years. I think we've developed a culture that our players have bought into. We've been able to recruit to who we are. Early on, I thought we adjusted our system to the talent that we had available. I think now what we're doing, we're recruiting the kind of players that fit the system that we feel comfortable with in implicating into our system. So we're happy with where we are. We are still driven by the fact that we have not won a championship, which I'm not real sure very many people feel like it should be a goal of ours, but we've been knocking on the door the last several years, and the fact that we have not made it to the Final Four or had an opportunity to compete for a national title, I think our guys are extremely motivated. We are consistently, sometimes maybe we enter a conference of some of the most rich traditional successful basketball programs in the history of college basketball. So we always have goals that we can achieve, great teams that we can compete against, and that just motivates us to work a little harder to try to continue keeping moving our program forward. We expect to have a good year now. We think that we have a good basketball team, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to to go in and show who we are?
I would just say the guys that left, legacy that they left, and the example that they left impacted us a lot. We've learned so much from them as far as just how they approach the game and their leadership styles and how they got us involved on the court. And I think for us as leaders, we learned so much from them, and we're trying to continue that culture throughout the rest of our program, through our guys, so that when our time is done, that culture is continuing to build, and we just continue to keep building. So,
yeah, I would just kind of go along with what MJ said. I mean, I'm pretty sure they feel like they left it better than what it was when they got here, and now just for me and MJ, we want to do the same thing, leave it better when we're gone than while it was when we were here. And I feel like if we can do that, we'll be able to, be the best leaders that we can be in the position that we are. And we was able to learn so much from those guys because we was with them for at least 2 years. So it was, we got to see kind of the younger stage and then the maturity process that they went through from like junior to senior year, sophomore to junior year. So it's kind of just the same thing with us. We've been able to see that, and we kind of went through the same process, just going from that junior to that senior year or sophomore to junior year. So just leaving the culture better than what it was when we got here.
Coach, just what you can say about the makeup of this year's team, 4 freshmen coming in, 2 grad transfers, just what they bring to the mix of what you already have and what you've seen so far.
It's been a hard preseason. We've had 8 practices, and we've only had the most we've had is 11 guys that have been able to do the whole practice because we've got all the aches and pains and some very serious injuries that we're trying to get over. So it's been difficult to see so far. Garrison and B-Rob have been 2 of our best players, and they're 2 of our most experienced players. They're trying to drag the other guys along with them. Cole has been a guy that wins almost every sprint, won the 12-minute run. One day we had maybe the toughest conditioning test, and he finished and made all his times, and guys had to make up 5 times, and he ran that with them and won those 2. So he's gotten their respect by doing the little things, the tough things. But those 3 guys have so far been the leaders of our team, and now we've got to get Andrew Playtech healthy. We got to get Christian and Justin out there on a full-time basis and knowing what we're doing. For us, it's got to be getting healthy is one of the biggest things. But these 2 guys up here with me have done the best job so far, for sure.
We're going to go to our left, the gentleman with the red notebook. There we go. Thank you.
I can't see it.
Okay, Lamonte Thomas, Legacy Maker Sports. I got a chance to ask Garrison. I wanted to ask Robinson and Coach as well. How much of you guys' competitions in practice get into you guys' philosophy as far as competing and as far as trying to win everything, whether it's every little drill, every one-on-one? How's that been helping you guys' chemistry thus far?
I think everything we do in practice is about competing. It's nothing that we do that is like you lose and you just move on. If we have a drill in practice, at the end of practice, you're going to run for it if you lose. And I think from the weight room to the classroom, everybody in our program knows that we compete. So we compete trying to get better grades with each other, compete trying to lift heavier weight than each other. So Coach is a big competitor, and he always jokes around about how him and Coach Rob compete about little things, how like he pulls his keys out before Coach Rob to open up the door. So I think everybody in our program has a competitive nature.
No, I think B-Rob's right. Everything we do is competitive, and at the end of the day, you win, you don't run. If you lose, you do run. The game is competitive, but I also think life is competitive. So we compete in everything we do, and everything there's a consequence. If you lose, you don't get the rewards. If you do, you do get the rewards.
What's going on, everybody? Lamonte Thomas, Legacy Maker Sports, here with Mr. Carlos Boozer.
How you guys
We're
doing?
at ACC Media Day, and what are your thoughts about today, man, about your role upcoming in the action coming up here this season?
I'm excited to be a part of the ACC network. Very excited to be back in the conference that helped me get to where I was going. Been a great day so far. I got to talk to all the coaches and meet some of the new stars in the ACC. Looking forward to a great year.
All right, awesome. I mean, again, you'll be playing a role in the network. You're coming back as an alum, right back here at home. How does it feel to be a part of, the big action that's known as ACC basketball, basically the mecca of the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's so awesome. I remember when I was in high school coming out, ACC basketball was everything. It was like SEC football. You know what I mean? That's where all the top players want to go. And for me to come back and be on this side of it, being able to talk to some of these young stars before they make the big leap to the NBA, I'll be able to help them out, give them some good advice. You know, it's good to be back and be able to give back a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely glad to have you here. I'm glad to be here, and we're looking forward to the season. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be a good year.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.